Greetings everyone. So I was inspired by a viewer to put together a video about a project I worked on a few years ago. It was really this project that ignited my desires to really understand CNC machines and to learn not only how they work, but to learn how to build them. My son-in-law was putting together a wakeboard park and found that wakeboard obstacles were very expensive, so we decided to try and build them for ourselves. The process is fairly straightforward. We build a steel frame, provide flotation, and put a slippery surface on them. You put them in the water, anchor them down, and you're good to go. In this video, you'll see three different styles. The first is a flat platform. I think it was called the dance floor or something like that. The second is what they call a kicker. And the third is actually two different versions of a wedge. So the wedge and a modified wedge. Let's start by talking about the Cnc Foam Cutter. If you've ever tried to cut foam, you know how much of a mess it can be, and it's difficult to be precise when cutting by hand. And it was that kind of motivation that inspired the large-scale CNC foam cutting machine, at least large-scale to me. We were cutting out flotation blocks from 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot blocks of foam, so the machine had to accommodate the large blocks. The main frame and rails are made from steel with a wood deck. The gantry is all aluminum. I was doing my best to keep the gantry light, since I was only using NEMA 23 stepper motors to drive the gantry. I used the L297 pulse generator to drive the motor drivers. I built the motor drivers with discrete components. At the time, stepper motor drivers were a lot more expensive than they are now, and I could build them for about $10 worth of components. Nowadays, it's not worth the time to build them when you can buy them for next to nothing. I used Mach 3 for the control software, which was a learning experience in itself, having never used a CNC machine before. All in all, the machine build went very smooth, and it was up and running pretty quick. The machine uses a hot wire to cut the foam, so there is very little load on the drives as long as the wire is hot enough. So we built the steel frames in sections so that they could be disassembled and reassembled at the lake. It was built in 3 sections, I believe. Then, of course, we cut the foam for the flotation, sandwich it all together, and then we used a rubberized coating, paint type stuff for the foam to seal it so it would not absorb the water once it's in the lake. And then after you get it to the lake, you assemble it, put the skin on it, anchor it to the bottom of the lake, and away you go. So this is the kicker frame, same type of steel construction, foam blocks installed, test fit actually, and then we coat the blocks again so they won't absorb the water, put a slick skin on it, and send it off to the lake. This next one is a standard wedge built in 3 sections, or 2 sections actually. Sandwich the foam in between the 2 frames, coat it, skin it, and it's ready to go. So this is what they call a modified wedge. As you can see, the corners, the upper corners kind of slope off as it goes up to the top. And of course it gets coated, skinned, and sent off to the lake. So that's about it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave comments below. And thanks for watching.